in town, Bill Osmondson, he took some government figures. This was from a national survey of children's health. If you look at the red line, okay, the 50 states are along the bottom, and the percent is going on the y-axis there. The red line is the percent of water fluoridated for each state. Now, Oregon is the third from the left. We're around 20%. You go all the way over to the right, and you're going to see D.C. and Kentucky and Illinois right around 99, 100%, and the other states in between. Okay? Look at the blue line. Two things are going to jump out at you from this graph. Look at the blue line. This is high-income kids, children, with very good or excellent teeth, and this is taken from this national government survey. And you can see it's right around 80, 85%. And look at the yellow line. This is low-income children with very good or excellent teeth. Now, one of the things that jumps out of you is that there is no correlation whatsoever with the percent of the water fluoridated and the kids, either high income or low income, with very good or excellent teeth. Totally independent. So this right here is a very graphic demonstration. The fluoridation is not that effective, the water fluoridation. Even the CDC said this, and they're promoting fluoridation. Even they said that it's mainly topical. That's what it is. This is the effectiveness of fluoride. It's topical, as in brushing your teeth or treatments at the dentist. In fact, the very latest data from 2009, called the Iowa study, showed the very same thing. Almost no effectiveness whatsoever. The other thing you see, of course, is that the effect of income. And this is what you'd expect from the U.S., where not everybody has health insurance or dental insurance. And high-income kids have a higher percentage of very good or excellent teeth than low-income kids.
That is actually quite interesting. Very,
And it's backed up, again by study after study. There have been, if you want to play devil's advocate a little bit, there have been studies on the other side that have shown higher effectiveness. They tend to be older. They are not very good quality. The one in 2009, the Warren Levy study from Iowa, that is considered the very best study out there and the most recent. It's an ongoing study. That's showing the same thing as what you're seeing on this graph. Almost no effectiveness at all from water fluoridation.
So you guys out there in Twitter world too, you can see the pound in step with Kevin. Go ahead and send in a question if you'd like, using that hashtag as well. We're going to start putting those in the queue. So if you have a question, concern, or opinion, go, and you are using Twitter. We have not abandoned Twitter. We're still using that to connect with you guys, our audience. So feel free to do that if you have a question or a comment regarding that, and we'll see what we can't do about getting that read in just a moment. So, playing devil's advocate, one of the things that has popped up is they're saying, yeah, but I mean, just a little bit of water. I mean, sure, you're drinking it. Maybe fluoride can be bad in large quantities. I don't intend on drinking large quantities. So, is there studies that show that is it someone who's drinking 3 gallons of water a day? Are they the only ones that are that something bad could happen? What if you're the casual drinker?
Well, it's a very good question. And what you have to understand is that we're not just drinking or getting fluoride from one source, the water here. We are getting fluoride from all over the place. We're getting it from processed foods, processed drinks. We're getting it from pesticides. Little kids sometimes can be swallowing it. I mean, they shouldn't be, but
right.
So we're getting it from all different sources. And just like you said, some people simply drink more water than others. Athletes are going to drink more water than others. People in manual labor jobs are going to drink. Oftentimes, chronic kidney patients, people with diabetes are drinking more water. So there are all kinds of people out there drinking more water than, say, the average person. So you have to look at, and that's what actually that Iowa study did, which is why it's so good. It's looking at total fluoride intake. So it's a very important question, and I'm glad you brought that up.
The other concern,
yes,
again too, since I'm not too sure why, but there's no one here to play devil's advocate for you, so I'm going to
go right ahead. Do it.
The other concern that came up earlier that I did read was, Rick, Portland's not the first city to do this. Tons of other cities have, and people seem to be just fine.
Well, if you were if you were somebody, say, with chronic kidney disease or somebody with thyroid conditions, two of the things that came up with the National Academy report, people with fluorosis, that's a spotting or mottling of the teeth, you wouldn't consider it necessarily just fine, okay? But I'm glad you brought that up because, yes, Portland is one of the few big cities left in the United States that hasn't fluoridated. And you've got the government saying it's okay, and you've got a lot of medical associations saying it's okay, and they'll bring out with a list and like that. So what you've got is kind of an echo chamber in the United States saying, well, all these organizations say it's okay, it must be okay. Although there are a lot of them that don't, too. Go outside the United States, okay? Go outside. And if you look at the world, 196 countries in the world, 27 fluoridate, only 11 for more than half their population. Okay, most of the world, most of the cities in the world are not fluoridating at all. And if you look, say, the closest comparison to us, people typically think of European countries.
Right.
Okay, European countries, 48, 5 fluoridate out of 48. That's it. Okay, most of them never fluoridated in the first place. 6 did at one time, and they have since quit as the science has accumulated and the concerns about fluoridation have accumulated. 6 have quit. So this is the direction I think that you're going to see, you know, on fluoridation. And it's interesting with a lot of the government saying it's okay and a number of organizations saying it's okay. Take a look at the substances that used to be considered okay in the United States. Lead, asbestos, DES, DDT, thalidomide, tobacco, you know. And we've got these pictures of, you know, doctors saying, you know, my favorite cigarette is Camel, or you know, or a dentist saying my favorite cigarette is Viceroy, or something like that. And I mean, you should see the pictures for DDT about, you know, DDT is good for me. You've got, you know, there's nothing like a singing potato or a singing cow. A singing DDT is good for me to send the message that it's effective and safe. But that's actually what we had before until the science accumulated, and we thought, whoa, let's take a second look. You know, we've got to change. We've got to take this stuff away.
And that's a really interesting point. I mean, using popular culture, there's a real popular show on AMC, I think it is, called, I think it's Mad Men, where they talk about the old, you know, there's the 1960s, and they're showing all the advertising, and they're writing the jingles and the ads for just those products. So that's a very interesting point in everything that you brought up there, in regards to how things have changed. Now, one quick thing, too, in regards to the fluoride, water, etc., that you mentioned at the very beginning, is that you were kind of concerned a little bit about, you said there was a lot of closed-door meetings and stuff like that, and how from just August till today, you know, it seemed like this kind of sped through kind of quickly, kind of passed through quickly.
Yes, it did.
What are your personal feelings or theories as to why it was maybe so many closed doors meetings, or why is Portland pushing so hard, in your opinion, to have fluoride in the water?
Well, it's a good question. I honestly don't know the intent. I really do believe that most people that want fluoridation are well-intentioned. I mean, nobody wants kids to have cavities. Nobody wants kids, or adults for that matter, to you know, have health problems, anything like that, resulting from cavities, which can happen. So I think most people were well-intentioned. The reasons for keeping it behind closed doors so much, you know, I think you have to ask the people of the city of Portland. Why?
I tried.
I know you tried, and they're
tried.
They're not here.
They're not here.
You know, we don't have an empty seat. You know, but they, you know, you'd have to ask them. You know, why wouldn't they tell the mayors of Gresham and Tigard and Tualatin and other outlying towns what they were planning to do? And these people, and you know, and I'm down there. I would be personally affected. I get Tigard water. So, but even if I wasn't, I believe in this very strongly, just based on the science and really the health effects. You know, in our, you know, where we're coming from, you know, is simply that better safe than sorry.
Right.
That before you put a substance in the drinking water, then you should know beyond a reasonable doubt
Mm-hmm.
that it's safe
Right.
for human health. And yet you've got all the scientific evidence, and some of them are, you can make definite statements about it. Some, that there's just real concerns, and the research hasn't been done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, 4 different scientists out of these 12 have come right out and say, one said, "My gosh, the evidence is overwhelming
Right.
that fluoride is more harmful than it is beneficial."
All right, so really quick, I'm going to run a few more things at you, but as you can see, time is running out on
Sure
us.
is, yeah.
You were speaking to basically one of the executive producers of my show, and that you mentioned something about fluoride with children.
Yeah.
So, what is the number one concern in regards to fluoride in the water and small children? Let's say 2.5
Small-
year olds.
Well, let's take it a little younger, okay?
Okay.
Because it is widely considered that infants from birth to 1 year old should not be drinking or intaking fluoride, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, well, they might get some from water or water mixed with infant formula,
Mm-hmm.
which a number of parents do. Breastfeeding
Right.
is best, of course, but a lot of parents, mothers do this,
Mhm.
okay? Because then these kids can develop fluorosis, which is a growing problem. 41% of kids now, age 12 to 15, have fluorosis, this spotting. Some of it's very mild, some of it's more serious, but it's this spotting or streaking of the teeth, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we've actually got, and I called the city of Portland this afternoon. I said, how many kids have we got in the city of Portland? And she said about 7,100 from the 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got 7,100 parents, okay, of infants this age now. They have to make a decision if they're, especially using formula or any kind of water intake from the infants. Am I going to have to spend extra money for unfluoridated water, or am I going to take the chance that my kid is not going to have fluorosis when he or she gets older? This is a terrible position to be put in, and especially, it's come out. I mean, one of the proponents' talking points. Well, this is good for poor people. Well, for low-income parents, this is not good, because they are either going to be facing much higher chances of fluorosis, or having to spend money on water that they shouldn't have to spend it on. The point is here, there's no choice. There is no choice. You've got the situation where 5 city commissioners of Portland are administering a drug. And let's be clear, this is a drug. This is not a water treatment to make water potable like chlorine.
Right.
It's not a nutrient. We don't need it for a healthy life. This is a drug meant to affect the body. Okay? They have now assumed the power and authority to administer a drug to an entire population of people. We're talking almost 1 million, without informed consent, without their informed consent. They don't have any choice. This is, let me finish the point.
Absolutely.
This is a power and authority that no individual physician has with his or her individual patients.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to us, this just does not make any sense whatsoever.
So people who want more information, who want to either read up more about it or maybe join you in your cause, it is cleanwaterportland.org. That's the website.
That's the website, and I'll give you another website, if I may.
Absolutely.
And that is fluoridealert.org, and anything you want to have, anything you want to know about fluoridation is on. It's a terrific nationwide, worldwide website. And not only has it got really great information in lay-friendly language, but it's got all these scientific citations. So if you want to check the science, you can go right to these citations and go right to the primary source of the science itself. Terrific website.
And as you guys know, I try and make this show as interactive as possible. So I will be following up, as I do with every episode, in the newsletter. So if you go to my website, kevinaguilar.com, you can subscribe to this show's newsletter, and I will, if you send me some stuff,
Absolutely.
I will forward over to you guys links to not only his website, but the other website that he mentioned. Also, I know that you've got a lot of activities and events that are coming up. I think, isn't there a lot of stuff happening?
Well, tomorrow at City Hall. Tomorrow at City Hall in the afternoon, we're going to be presenting these
signatures.
These signatures. So, This is a big day.
This is going to be a big day.
This is going to be a big day.
You've been
Yeah.
a phenomenal guest. I want to say thank you for coming on.
Thank
I
you
want
for
to
inviting
say,
me.
and I'm sure that I think we're going to see you again.
I hope
and,
so.
And I hope again too that we're going to have an opportunity to have someone sitting across from you at this time. Jesse, I want to just turn it over to you. Not a lot of action. This is new. It's always that happens. Thanks for coming on board. So, and I just want to let you guys know that you guys talk to Jessie. You guys can interact with her via Facebook and now Twitter. So don't be shy for future shows. So with that said, I want to say, of course, the biggest thanks goes out to you guys, the viewers. I am always so overwhelmed and thankful for you guys' viewership and support. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, don't forget, new episode in 2 weeks. It's the second and fourth Wednesday of the month that I do in step. And I'll keep working with the city. Until then, I want you guys to be kind to one another. Take care. And again, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful night. Awesome. Thank you. Great interview, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Sorry, Jesse, we didn't get a chance to interact with you as much as I was hoping this time.
Exactly.
Do you want to ask me a question? You can now.
There you go.
Go ahead. Hit me with everything you got.
No, it's just it's an interesting debate, and it's